Hello and welcome to Unreal Made Easy, and in today's video we're going to grab three different types of characters. One is going to be a Paragon character like this. We're also going to grab a Metahuman character, and then we're also going to grab a marketplace character. So let's not waste any time, let's go ahead and grab these free sources of characters and let's go ahead and begin. Okay, to start out with, you're going to open up a fresh third-person project. We're going to set two things up first in this project. First thing we're going to set up is editor preferences. And then right here, where it says on the general appearance, default editor, we're going to change this from default. Hold on, let's see here. We're going to change this from default to open in the main window. And that's just so we can have the tabs add on instead of over top of each other. The next setting we're going to change in this new project is going to be in the plugins. We're going to add two of them. First one we're going to add is going to be Metahumans. Metahuman. Regular Metahumans. Yes, enable the plugin. Before we start, we're also going to add Groom, which is the regular one here. And this is going to be for Metahuman hair. Okay, and then from here, we can go ahead and click Restart Now. And then give it a moment. Yes, and we can select Enable Missing Plugins, which is fine. Now, what we can do now, we can restart again. Okay, now that we're back, we're going to close this project. We can close this plugins as well. Close the project. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Unreal Marketplace and we're going to grab 4 different assets that to use for our playable characters for free. So we're going to start by typing in the search adventure character. So try spelling it right, character. Maybe it won't matter. There we go. We're going to select this first one. And here we're going to click into this, into the creator of this project. And we're going to go from price low to high. This is going to show several free assets. The 2 assets we're going to grab are the adventurer female and the adventurer male. Simply click on one, sign in and add it to project. And then click on the other one as well. You can go back. Click on the other one, sign in and add to project. Now, for the next one, we're going to do Epic Games content. And we're going to search for a character. And within here, you're going to see all these different characters. These are all free characters you can use. So I'm going to show you how to take one of these characters and use them. Now, the character I'm going to use today is going to be Victor. So we're going to take all this character, sign in and download, and add it to your project. So I suggest pausing the video and adding these 3 characters to your project. Okay, now that you've added those particular characters to your project, you should see them all here. So you got the adventure character, or actually adventure woman, and this one man here is the adventure guy. And then we've got Richter here. Now we're going to add one more character to this. So we're going to add a Metahuman. So another free character you can get, of course. So we're going to go to the quick add to projects. We're going to go to Quixel Bridge. And then once the Quixel Bridge is here, you're going to go to where it has the little person icon here to the left. Click on that. And there's some Metahuman characters. Pick one of your Metahuman characters you want to use. I've got this one here, which he's also in my heart, which is the favorites here. And I'm going to select him. And here you're going to have to download. Now, I've already downloaded this character. So I'm just going to, after you finish downloading, you're going to click Add to Project. Now, this may take some time to download. You may want to pause the video and then download this character as well. And then after you've downloaded and added to the project, you can hit close. You open the content browser, and you can see here we got a Metahuman folder. Now, to start out, first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Paragon Richter, go to Characters, go to Heroes, go to Richter. And we're going to use, right here at the bottom, you're going to see here it says this is Blueprint class. We're going to take that, and we're going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to call him BP underscore Rictor and hit enter. And we're going to try to keep all the blueprints in the same spot on this third person blueprint. So over here to the left, you're going to scroll down, and you're going to take this. Let's see, we're going to open this up, and we're going to put in this third person blueprint folder. So all you have to do is left click BP Richter, drag him into the blueprint folder, release, and select move here. Now, we're going to select the blueprint folder, and now we've got the third person character and Richter here. But before we continue, we're going to add two more characters. We're going to add the two adventure characters. So we're going to left click to select the third person character, because we're going to use its blueprint. We're going to select Control D. And instead of naming this character 1, we're going to name BP underscore Adam for the male character. And then we're going to also do that one more time with this character still highlighted. Control D again. And we're going to do BP underscore Eve. And you can name it whatever you want, but I'm just trying to simplify it here. So to start out with Adam, what we're going to do is we're going to double click on Adam, open him up. And right here, we can go and select the viewport, and we're going to change the character's mesh. Okay, so we're going to select the character's mesh. Okay, and let's see, we can scroll right here. Let me see what we got here. Okay, yes. So right here's the character mesh. We're going to go to the content folder, and we're just going to go straight to the content. We're going to go to the man folder, because that's where we have Adam at, or the venture character. And we're going to select the mesh folder. We're going to select the full character. And we're going to select one of these characters. We can select, it doesn't really matter. We just want to left click and highlight that one. Minimize the content browser. Use this arrow right here, and that's going to select the highlighted thing we just did. And it's going to change the mesh to him. Then we're going to compile and save. Now, we can close out of this for now. And we're going to go to the next character. We're going to go back to the content folder. Back to the third person character. Blueprints. And we've got our Adam character there. Let's go ahead and do Eve. Same thing. We're going to, in the Eve blueprint, we're going to select the mesh. Go to the content folder. Go back to the main content. We're going to select the Adventure Woman. We're going to want the mesh. We're going to get the Adventure Woman folder. We're going to use the UE5, because if we use the UE4, the mesh won't be compatible and you're going to have issues. Next, we're going to go to the full, and we're going to select one of her meshes. We're going to select, obviously, preferably the one with a head. And then we're going to close it, or minimize the content folder again. Do the same thing we just did. And there we go. Now we can view up here in the viewport, and we can see that we have the character there. Compile, save. Close that. Next, we're going to open the content folder again. I know it seems redundant, but we've just made two characters. We're going to make the third one, but it's going to be a different type of way we're going to do this one. We're going to go to the blueprint, the third person here, and into the blueprint folder. And we're going to have to open up two of these, okay? So we're going to need to open up the BP third person default character, okay? Scroll out of that a little bit. And we want to be in the event graph here, okay? And these are all the events for the movement of the character. Open the content folder. We're going to open BP Richter. This blueprint, as you can tell here, there's a couple of errors, which is okay. These are all the movement ones. That's because since the update from this character, they didn't update this to the enhanced inputs, which is okay. We're just going to take left drag, and we're going to select everything that is the movement. So we've selected that. I'm just going to scroll in so you can see. It's the turn rate, mouse inputs, game inputs, all that. And then on your keyboard, you can just hit the delete or backspace. Okay. Go back to the tab up here to the third person character. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to select all this, do a Control C, go back to Richter, Control V, and now we're going to hit compile and save. Now at this point, we're done with this blueprint. We're still gonna need this third person blueprint, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to duplicate this blueprint. So we're gonna close this out. We're gonna do a save all because the next part's gonna be a little bit trickier because we're gonna add a Metahuman character so we can have another different type of free character. So same thing like we did here. We're gonna highlight the third person blueprint, Control D, and we're gonna call this BP underscore Metahuman. There. Okay. So now for the Metahuman, what we're going to do is, well, we're definitely going to have to open up the Metahuman blueprint that we just created, the duplicate of the third person. We're going to go to the content browser once again, into the content folder, go to Metahumans. And this is the character I have here, this AOI. Double click him. And we're going to double click the blueprint and open it up. It may take a second depending on how fast your computer is. Next, we're going to enable all the missing plugins. Enable them. It's going to take some time now. Here, we're going to have to go ahead and we're going to restart this now and let the plugins enable. So restart now. Yes, we're going to save selected. Okay, I'm going to select yes because the project's opened up and I want my assets to open back up, the ones that I was currently using. Okay, so I'm going to take the Metahuman blueprint. I'm going to drag it a little bit to the left here. And what I want to do is I'm going to have to start by copying several things. First thing we're going to need is we're going to need all of the characters' skeletal meshes here. Okay, so we're going to start from the body, go to the beard, hold down shift, left click again, and then right click, copy, and then go to Metahuman. Then we're going to select the mesh right here, do a Control V, and that should add all of the different meshes. Minimize the face, minimize the body. We're going to drag the body up to the character's main mesh. Okay. Okay. So next. Okay. Once we have all this, okay, we can see we got everything here. Okay. Next, we're going to select a new viewport. As we can see, our character is a little bit off, which is okay. We're going to select the body. And over here on the right side, by the transform, we're going to reset the values back to 0. So that way everything lines up. You're going to compile, save. And we don't want this other mesh to be visible. So we're going to select the mannequin's mesh. Well, actually, before we do that, let's see, we're gonna select the torso, or actually we're gonna select the body. And we're gonna do animation blueprint. And we're gonna select that for all of them. So the animation blueprints, we're gonna use the BP Quinn. As you can see here, so I got the body, the torso. We're gonna do the legs. Animation blueprint Quinn, it's fine. Same thing with the feet. Each skeletal mesh has to have an animation blueprint that goes with it. And then as far as the face, we're going to leave that as it is. We're going to compile and then save. Next, we're also going to add, we're going to go back to AO, which is the original, and we're going to need this LOD sync. So we go back to our Metahuman. We're going to select the add button. LOD SYN sync. We're going to add that component. Select enter. Now here's another tricky part that we're going to need to do. We're going to need to add all of the components first before we add blueprint stuff. Okay. So right here we got this construction script. Okay, compile and save, because we've added all that. And then we'll go back to this character here. And you can see here, select this and drag it up. And we're going to select all these. But unfortunately, you can't copy all of them at once. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one at a time. So we're going to left click, Control C, go to Metahuman when we create it, go to construction script, highlight it, Control V, hit enter. And we're just going to do that for all of them. Okay. Now that that's all done, we've copied all the functions over because we're trying to keep the same functionality from the original Metahuman script. We're going to need to grab two things from here. We're going to need to grab this face kit down here. Left click, drag, Control C. Go to our Metahuman. Inside the event graph, I know it looks confusing with all this, but highlight it. It'll tell you where you're at. Just highlight that. Once in the event graph, left click, scroll out, go down, right here at the bottom, Control V. It's okay. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Leave it there. And that's because we're in the Metahuman tab. That's where we just copied that to. And then the other thing we're going to need is we're going to need this hair and LOD setup. So we're going to left click this, Control C that, Control V. And then we're going to add this into the event begin play. Now note, this is important to know. Every blueprint only has certain nodes, only one can exist in that blueprint. So the event play is one of the things. So in order to get this functionality, we have to use it in this order. Now, this is where it's going to look a little bit interesting. We're going to hit compile and save, and we're going to get some errors. So compile, and then hit save, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is, if you look, let's see right here, compile result is going to show all these different ones. So what we're going to do is, we're going to look for everything that is highlighted, that doesn't have it. So it's going to be grayed out. So you're going to right click and create the variable of what that particular thing is. Because this metahuman that we've created does not have these variables. So we're going to right click and create it. And all these variables will only be the universal variable, not a local variable. So just note that. That's important to note for later. Right click. Okay. Now, if you right click on it, sometimes that means it's done already. You'll see a slight hint of red or green or whatever that variable is. Next, we're going to go to the next one. We don't see any errors here. That's okay. Next one, we got errors. Okay, but you see it's tinted red. That means it's got that. This one does. It's completely gray. So we right click that, create the variable. Not the local, the regular one. Next, and we can see here we got more stuff we got to repair. Right click, create that. Right click and create. Each of the variables. Right click and create. As you can see here, these have already been done. Next. And these are all the different functions that hold logic. And all we're doing is we're fixing the errors in there because the variables don't exist, but we're making them exist by creating them. Right click and then create. Okay. Compile. And then save. And then I recommend doing a save all. We can do save all. Now, I'm going to leave this. We're going to go back to the event graph on the Metahuman here. There's a reason I'm doing that. Let's see here. We're going to go this down. Okay. So we're going to leave this up. Okay. And right now I'm going to show you how to change the default character into each pawn. So that way you can actually use them and see these free playable characters. So on the right here, we're going to select the world settings. It might look different. If it looks like it's already up, it's just a right click and unlock from sidebar. And that's probably what you're looking at, which is okay. And we can always do that, or we can put it back. We can dock it in sidebar either way. Okay. Okay. So if you can't find, if for some reason you can't find this world settings, you can go to window and then it's going to be right here, world settings, and you just hit the checkbox. Okay. Back to world settings. Well, let me show you the default. So right here, we're in the game mode override. We're going to select the selected game mode, and we've got the default pawn class. I'm going to start with that just so you can see. Okay, so we got the default class. We're moving around. Great. So escape, world settings, and what I'm going to do is we're going to go to the default pawn class, and I'm just going to put BP here just to narrow it down so we can see each of our characters. So we're going to start with Adam, and then select play. And now we've got the working version of the adventure guy. Okay. Escape, world settings. Next, we're going to do Eve. And you can select save each time, but right now we're just testing. So if you want to, make sure it logs in like that. So yeah, so we got Eve, which was the adventure character, female. Escape. And then next, we're going to look at Richter. We're going to do Richter next. And then hit play. And now we've got this really cool Paragon character, Richter. He's kind of cool. And you still got his functionality, but you don't have everything. Like if you notice your left click, it only does it once. It's just because we didn't do the logic. But at least this is, like I said, you can use these characters, which I think are very neat. And they're a lot of fun. Escape. Now for the final one. Now, for the Metahuman, we're going to start that. We're going to see an issue here. And I'm going to show you the issue, and then I'm going to show you how to fix it. Play. Oh, got multiple issues. Okay. So let me hit stop. Okay. We're going to go back to the Metahuman here. We're going to select the main mesh. And in the details panel, we're going to type in visibility, VIS, and we're going to uncheck this. Well, let me go to the viewport here. Viewport, so we can see we got that. We don't want that, so we're going to uncheck that, which is going to change the visibility of the mesh because we don't want that roaming around with us. Compile. And then save. So, okay. And then what we'll do is we'll hit play. Now, you notice something is wrong with his feet. Looks good, something's definitely wrong. Have you ever encountered this problem with a metahuman? Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix this, okay? Escape. We're going to go to our metahuman. We're going to close out of that. And we're going to need, okay, so we got the main mesh, which is that invisible mesh. We're going to go to the animation blueprint right here, okay? So, and the way we do that is we can click on the browse, this little folder here. Now, we don't want to change the Quinn one. We want to change the parent one, which is the Manny one. That's the Manny animation blueprint. We're going to double click, open that up. And from this point, okay, we're going to go into the anim graph, which is right here. And if you can't find it, just double click here and it'll bring this up. So anim graph. And the problem is it's going to be in this control rig here. So if you left click and then double click it, open it up. Okay. You're going to see all this logic here. But at the bottom is the IK logic. This is what we need to change. So instead of the root being the pelvis, we're going to use the animation root. And we're going to compile and save. And that's going to fix the Manny and the Quinn animation blueprint. Okay. Now we can close this up once we've compiled and saved. And we can close this up as well. And we don't need the original AOI. And we can leave this up, it's fine. Go back to the third person. Select play. And now the legs and everything work. So now you've got 3 different characters you can use. So you've got the regular content you can download off the Unreal Marketplace. You've got the Epic Games content you can download, get characters from there. And now you can add any metahuman you want. That does it for today's tutorial. I hope it was, I hope it helped you. And I want to say, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.